Your garden gate drags. It scrapes a little arc in the dirt every time it swings. The latch misses its catch unless you lift the whole gate with your knee. And some morning this summer, you did what any sensible man does. You got the screwdriver, and you tightened every hinge screw good and snug. And you stood back. And it still sagged. Maybe you went further. New screws, longer ones, maybe a third hinge. Maybe you lifted the gate and rehung it an inch higher, and for 2 weeks it was fine. And then the drag came back like it never left. And somewhere in there you started to suspect what I am here to confirm for you today. You have been fixing the wrong thing. A sagging gate is almost never a hinge problem. It is a shape problem. The gate is changing its shape, quietly, from a rectangle into something else. And no screw on earth stops that, because screws were never what held the shape in the first place. Today I will show you what actually holds a gate square, why a piece of wood and a piece of wire do that same job facing in opposite directions, and how to tell in 2 minutes which fix your gate needs. And when we are done, you will own one rule so simple you can say it in 4 words, and you will never hang a droopy gate again. The housekeeping. Once. A free paper of 15 fixes, each $1 or less, is linked under this video. Leave your name, and it comes to you. On we go. Before we touch the gate, we find the true patient, because there are 3 different sicknesses that all look like a sagging gate, and only one of them is cured by what I teach today. First, the post. Take hold of the hinge post, the one the gate hangs from, and shake it like you mean it. If the post moves in the ground, leans toward the gate, or gives that soft, dead feeling of rot at the soil line, stop right there. Your gate is fine. Your post is failing, and a leaning post drops everything hung on it. No brace on the gate will cure a post, the same as new shoes will not cure a broken ankle. The post gets reset or replaced first, and that is its own job for another day. Second, the hinges. Have somebody lift the latch corner of the gate an inch while you watch the hinges close. If the hinge leaves flex away from the wood, if the screws stir in their holes, if the whole hinge shifts, then your trouble is fastening, and the honest fix is longer screws into sound wood, or a carriage bolt clean through, or moving the hinge to wood that is not chewed out. That one, tightening really does fix when it is truly the trouble. But here is the third case, and it is the common one. The post stands firm, the hinges hold still, and the gate droops anyway. Now do this. Take your tape measure and measure the gate corner to corner, both ways. Top hinge corner down to bottom latch corner, then top latch corner down to bottom hinge corner. On a square gate, those 2 diagonals come out equal, to the 1/8 of an inch. On your sagging gate, I will wager one number is longer than the other. Write down which. That difference is the whole disease, and everything from here on is the cure. If plain fixes for real things suit you, a like and a subscribe are welcome, and there is one old skill here every week. Here is the plain fact underneath every sagging gate on every farm in this country. A rectangle cannot hold its own shape. 4 boards, 4 corners, screwed or nailed square. It looks sturdy. It is not. Push sideways on the top of any 4-sided frame, and the corners give a little, and the rectangle leans over into a parallelogram, the same shape, just slumped, like a man going from standing to slouching. The boards themselves have not bent one bit, only the corners change their angles. Now hang that rectangle off one edge, which is exactly what a gate is, and gravity becomes the hand that pushes. The hinge side is held up by the post. The latch side hangs out in the open air with nothing under it, all day, all year. So gravity pulls the free corner down, the corner angles creep, and the rectangle slumps toward a parallelogram, and the latch side drops, and the gate drags. The screws in the corners fight it, but screws in wood are a poor army against a steady load, They work loose a hair at a time, and every hair is another fraction of droop. So here's the size of the real problem. You cannot fix a shape problem by tightening the corners, because the corners were never strong enough to hold the shape alone. Not on the day the gate was built, and not now. What holds a four-sided frame square, what has always held it square, in gates and barn doors and roof trusses and the very braces in the walls of your house, is the diagonal. A line across the frame from corner to corner turns the weak rectangle into two triangles, and a triangle is the one shape that cannot slump without breaking. The whole cure is one diagonal. The only question, and it is the question everybody gets wrong, is which way the diagonal runs. And the answer depends entirely on what it is made of. I want to show you this, not just say it. So I built two little frames, each just 4 sticks screwed at the corners, small enough to hold in 2 hands, and each one slumps sideways as free as a gate ever did. The first frame gets a stick, a little solid strut of wood, set diagonally inside it, running from the bottom of one side up to the top of the other. Now watch what happens when I push this frame toward a slump in the direction that stick can catch it. The falling corner presses down the length of the stick, and the stick passes that push along its whole body down into the bottom corner, and the frame stops dead. It cannot slump, because to slump, it would have to shorten that stick lengthwise, crush it like a soda can from the ends, and wood loaded straight down its length is one of the strongest things on a farm. You could not crush that little stick end to end with your truck. That is called compression, and wood is a king in compression. The stick is a kickstand. The falling weight leans on it, and it carries the weight down to the strong corner. But now watch the same frame pushed the other way. The slump moves away from the stick. The corners pull apart instead of pressing together, and the stick does nothing. Worse than nothing. Its screws are now being asked to hold the frame together by pulling, and screws pulling out of end grain is the weakest joint in carpentry. The frame slumps with the stick sitting right there inside it. Useless. Same stick, same frame. Direction was everything. The second frame gets no stick. It gets a cord, tied corner to corner along the other diagonal. Push the frame toward a slump and watch the cord snap tight. The slumping frame is trying to stretch that diagonal longer, and the cord will not stretch, and so the slump stops. The cord holds by being pulled, the way a rope holds a bucket. That is tension, and a wire or a cord is a king in tension. But push this frame the other way, so the cord's diagonal gets shorter, and the cord just goes slack and hangs there like wet spaghetti. A cord cannot push. You cannot shove a rope. There it is, the whole of it, in 2 little frames on a bench. Wood is strong when pushed and weak where its fastenings pull. Wire is strong when pulled and useless when pushed. Both can hold a gate square forever, but they must run in opposite directions because one works by catching the falling corner and the other works by hauling it up. And this is why half the sagging gates in this country have a brace already on them, pointing the wrong way, doing nothing, put there by a fellow who knew a gate needs a diagonal, but not which one. Now your real gate, and I will speak it for a gate hinged on the left, and if yours hangs on the right, everything simply mirrors. The solid wooden brace runs from the bottom hinge corner up to the top latch corner. Low on the hinge side, high on the latch side. Burn that in. The latch side is the side that falls, and the falling weight presses down that sloped stick, and the stick carries it down into the bottom hinge corner, which sits right next to the post, the strongest place on the whole gate. The brace is the kickstand under the falling corner. Doing it is a Saturday morning. First, and this is both the craft and the safety of it, the gate must be square and supported before the brace goes in, because a brace does not straighten a gate, It keeps a straight gate straight. So swing the gate to where you can work on it and block up under the latch side, a scrap of lumber, a jack, bricks, until your two corner-to-corner diagonals measure equal again. Do not trust your eye, trust the tape. The gate is now square and the blocking is holding it there, and nothing gets loosened or fastened on any gate that is not supported. A garden gate does not look heavy until it comes off one hinge onto your foot. Then take your brace stock, a piece of 2x4 does fine for a garden gate, and lay it across the back of the squared gate, from bottom hinge corner to top latch corner, and mark where it crosses the top and bottom rails. Cut those angles so the brace ends sit tight and flush against the rails, and I mean tight, because here is a thing worth knowing. A compression brace only works when it is touching. If you cut it short and leave a gap at either end, the gate will slump exactly the width of that gap before the brace ever feels the load, and you will wonder why the fix half worked. Flush means the brace is carrying weight from the first minute. Cut proud and shave to fit, rather than cut short and shim. Then fasten it, screws through the brace into the rails and into any pickets it crosses. Take the blocking away and swing your gate. The latch meets its catch. The arc in the dirt starts growing grass back, and that shape is now held by a triangle, not by hopeful screws. Now the other road, the cable, and hear the direction change, because this is where the wrong way braces come from. The wire runs the opposite diagonal, from the top hinge corner down to the bottom latch corner, high on the hinge side, low on the latch side. The wire cannot catch a falling corner, it can only pull one up, so it reaches from the strongest high point, the top hinge corner beside the post, down to the drooping latch corner, and it hauls that corner up toward the post the way you would haul a bucket up a well. The kit is 2 eye screws or eye bolts, a length of steel cable or heavy wire, and a turnbuckle, which is just a threaded barrel that shortens the line when you twist it. Square and support the gate first, same as before, always. Eye screw into the top hinge corner, eye screw into the bottom latch corner, cable between them with the turnbuckle in the run, and then twist the turnbuckle until the slack is gone and the line is honestly tow. And here is the sweet part of the wire road. The turnbuckle is adjustable forever after. If the gate settles a little next spring, you do not rebuild anything. You give the barrel 2 more turns and the latch corner comes back up. That is why you see the wire on gates that get heavy use. Which road should you take? Both hold. The wood brace is cheaper, looks like it grew there, and has no hardware to rust. The wire is faster, lighter on a light gate, and adjustable down the years. What you must never do is mix up their directions. A wooden brace on the wire's diagonal is pushing on nothing. A wire on the wood's diagonal goes slack the moment the gate leans. If you take one thing from this whole video, take the 4 words I will close with. Now the limits, stated plain, because a brace is not a resurrection. A brace cannot cure a bad post. If your diagnosis found the post moving or rotten, that comes first, or nothing else matters. A brace cannot cure rotten wood in the gate itself either. If the rails are punky, if the stiles are split, if the frame is so warped the boards no longer meet, you are past bracing, and the honest answer is new lumber. Braces keep sound gates sound. They do not raise the dead. And here where this video does not reach. Everything today is for the ordinary swinging wooden yard and garden gate. It is not for automatic driveway gates, which have motors and their own engineering. Not for heavy steel gates, which want welding, not woodwork. Not for pool safety gates, which are governed by their own rules for good reason and must self-close and self-latch to code. And not for the structural gates of an entrance wall. Those are their own trades. One more, for the folks with horses. A diagonal brace, and especially an exposed cable, crossing a gate in a horse enclosure makes a place where a hoof or a leg or a halter can catch, and a caught horse is a hurt horse. Stock gates in horse country are built their own way for that reason. If your gate fences horses, talk to your fence supplier about stock-safe design before you copy anything from this video. And the safety of the work itself, short and real. The gate is supported before any hardware is loosened, always. Glass is on when you are driving screws or cutting, and gloves when you are handling cable, for a frayed wire end goes through a bare palm like a fishhook. Slow work, supported work, and the whole job is as safe as sweeping the porch. Let me fold it all up small enough to carry. A gate sags because a rectangle is a weak shape, and gravity leans on it all day. Screws in the corners cannot hold a shape. A diagonal can, because a diagonal makes triangles. And the direction of the diagonal is decided by what it is made of, because the two materials hold in two opposite ways. Wood pushes, wire pulls. That is the whole law. 4 words. The wooden brace runs low hinge to high latch, a kickstand under the falling corner, pushing the weight home to the post. The wire runs high hinge to low latch, a rope over the well, pulling the fallen corner up. Say it once at the lumber yard, and you will never stand in front of a gate wondering again. And it is not just gates. Once you see it, you will see it everywhere men build things. The wooden braces in your barn walls pushing, the cables on the power poles pulling. Every one of them a triangle holding a weak shape true. Every one of them pointed the way its materia. It works. So this week, go stand at your gate, shake the post, watch the hinges, pull the tape corner to corner both ways, and tell me in the comments what you found. The numbers themselves, if you have them. Post, hinges, or shape. And if there is already a brace on your gate, tell me which way it runs, for I suspect a good many of you are about to walk out there and find a stick pointed the wrong direction, and there is no shame in it. It may have been pointed wrong since before you owned the place. I read every one. If you would care to put another old skill in your hands next week, subscribe and you will find the way back. Until then, remember the 4 words. Wood pushes, wire pulls. Hang the diagonal the way its nature works, and your gate will swing true and click its latch for as long as you care to keep it. God keep you, friend. We will talk again.